To begin today's video, we actually pick up with Apocalypse. Now, this was a time where Apocalypse was one of the first many mutants on the Earth, meaning that at this point, there weren't that many mutants on the Earth. Now, with that being said, though, you did have Apocalypse go around to find other mutants on the Earth. And he did. He found two twin brothers. Now, with these twin brothers, he was trying to recruit them to build a home for the mutants. Now, these twin brothers did not want to join Apocalypse. On top of that, they had the ability to never get lost. The problem is that when they went out into the ocean, they weren't good builders. What I mean is, they did not build a good enough boat to survive in the ocean. And so their boat, of course, drowned, and they drowned with their boat. And Apocalypse could have saved them, but of course, he did not. In his mind, he felt like this area where they died at could be very important for something else down the road. Now, we do jump back over to the present day, where we pick up with the Excalibur team. Of course, that will be Betty Braddock, the new Captain Britain, Gambit, and also Jubilee. Now, they do have Kitty Pryde with them at the moment, but Kitty Pryde is not part of the team. Kitty Pryde is actually part of the Marauders team, who has a boat to go all over the ocean. And so right now, the Excalibur team needs the boat to go to the lighthouse. Now, the lighthouse is very special to the Excalibur landscape. But of course, I will explain that down the road. But either way, right now, they're using the boat to get to the lighthouse. And the reason why, because let's not forget what happened in our last video. When it came to Rogue touched a Cocoan gate. And of course, that gate actually led into Otherworld, or actually Avalon, where Morgan Le Fay stays at. And right now, Morgan Le Fay is holding the original Captain Britain, Brian Braddock, as a hostage. But either way, though, you have this team hoping that if they get to the lighthouse, they can go back to Otherworld, save Brian, and also fix Rogue. Because when Rogue touched that gate, there was some kind of feedback and basically turned her into a Sleeping Beauty kind of character. Now, at this moment right now, Gambit is very upset because he cares for Rogue. And he's kind of upset that everyone on this team is kind of just making jokes left and right and not taking this situation very serious. But of course, things are about to get very worse. Now, we do see that our Excalibur team do get attacked by some Silkies. Now, these Silkies are some kind of old Scottish folktale creatures. But either way, though, these creatures are right now attacking the Excalibur team. And of course, they're attacking the boat that belongs to Kitty Pryde. Now, you do have Betty Braddock tell us that these creatures were most likely sent by Morgan Le Fay as a way to capture her and bring her back over to Otherworld. And so right now you have our heroes just trying to fight them off. But of course, you do have Betty Braddock tell us that they need to get to the shore. And the reason why, because these creatures technically can't walk on land or climb the rocks on the land, meaning that it's their best way to protect Kitty Pryde's boat, but to also get away from them and protect Rogue as well. And so you have our heroes being able to get off the boat and get right over to the shoreline where the creatures realize they can no longer follow and they leave. Now, when they get to the shore, they realize that the lighthouse is gone. The lighthouse that belongs to Captain Britain's family. So with that being said, they're wondering what happened. But that is the moment Betty Braddock is visited by some people that she can only see. No one else can see them. And they tell her what happened to the lighthouse. The lighthouse was burned down by, of course, Morgan Le Fay people. She has sent in a new coven called Coven Aqaba, and their leader is the High Priestess Mariana Stern. And with that being said, she was the one who burned down the lighthouse. But of course, don't worry, things are about to get better for our team. And the reason why I say that is because out of nowhere, you do have Rogue, who is right now really a Sleeping Beauty, being able, for some strange reason, to rebuild the lighthouse just like that. with some kind of magic powers. And so with the lighthouse being rebuilt, that means that Betty Braddock and the Captain Britain team or whatever, Excalibur, has their lighthouse once again to use. Now, let me explain why the lighthouse is so important. Because the lighthouse is really a doorway. What I mean by that is it connects this Earth with the rest of the Earths in the multiverse, meaning that if someone wants to travel the multiverse, they could use this place right here to travel the multiverse and also other dimensions in each Earth. And so with that, that is why they needed the lighthouse, so that they have a way to go back into other world to save Brian Braddock. Now, you did have everyone decide to go ahead and get some rest. And so right now, most of the team is sleeping. And we do pick up with Jubilee having this nightmare because she left her baby on COPPA. And she's wondering who is going to watch over him. But that is the moment she is greeted by Apocalypse. And of course, she hates Apocalypse, like most of the mutant race do, especially X-Men characters. And so right now, when she looks up and sees Apocalypse is holding her son, she begins to freak out. But of course, Apocalypse is so powerful, she knows that she can't just easily stop him like that. And so she is so worried about her son. But of course, this was just a dream. And with this dream happening, it's basically going to make her realize that she should go back to COPPA, get her son, and bring her son on this mission, because at least he'll be in safer hands. But either way though, we do jump over to Betty Braddock's dream, which is kind of weird because she is greeted by some kind of fiery fox character. Now, like I said, in Betty Braddock's dream, she is greeted by some kind of fiery fox, and she realized that this dream is trying to give her some kind of message. With that being said, she follows the fox until it leads her to a statue of Apocalypse. And of course, in each hand of Apocalypse, there is a plate with food on it. Now, once she's able to remove the food, she's able to read the message. And it said, "He will use us, but we can use him." And of course, this could mean Apocalypse is trying to use them, but of course, they could use Apocalypse for something else. And the dream kind of ends on that note right there. But when everyone wakes up, well, that is the moment they are confronted by the same guys who told Betty Braddock earlier what had happened to the original lighthouse, how it was burned down by the Coven of COPPA. But that's the moment you have these guys actually tell Betty Braddock that they recognize her as the new Captain Britain and they need her help to protect the area. But that is the moment they do get attacked by the Coven of COPPA, and that means the Excalibur team must fight against them. But while the Excalibur team is fighting against the forces of the Coven of COPPA, well, that is the moment you have Apocalypse appear in the mind of Psylocke to talk to her. Wait, not Psylocke, Betty Braddock. For a long time, Betty Braddock was actually Psylocke, and so sometimes I get confused that she is no longer Psylocke. My bad. But either way though, you do have Apocalypse contact Betty Braddock to tell her that she needs to stop this nonsense and just go ahead and go to Otherworld. And the reason why, to save her brother, because the longer her brother is in Otherworld with Morgan Le Fay, the easier it will be for her to corrupt him and make him work for her. Now, of course, Betty, like most X-Men characters, do not trust Apocalypse. On top of that, she just learned that COPPA, the coven that burned down the original lighthouse, used to work under Apocalypse so many years ago. And you have Apocalypse say, yes, that is true, until they have believed a lie. That lie was that with their using magic powers, they were on my level. And of course, I had to show them they were nowhere on my level. And after that, they no longer work for me. But of course, that is the moment you have Apocalypse appear and he takes all of the Coven of COPPA out. And the reason why, because again, he wants Betty Braddock and her team to go to Otherworld right now to go ahead and save Brian Braddock. But of course, like I said earlier, no one trusts Apocalypse, especially X-Men characters. Now, once the Coven of Aqaba has been defeated, well, that is the moment you actually do have Apocalypse tell Betty Braddock and Gambit and Jubilee that they need to go ahead and go into Otherworld to save Ryan Braddock, to stop Morgan Le Fay. Now, again, no one trusts him, but then you have Apocalypse say, listen, I will stay here, protect the lighthouse, but also protect the area like you want to. On top of that, I will protect Rogue. Now, as soon as he says Rogue's name, that right there makes Gambit very angry. And the reason why, because no one on the X-Men team trusts Apocalypse, especially Gambit, when it comes to the girl he loves so much. But right now, honestly, he has no choice. He has to let Rogue stay here. On top of that, that means Shogo, the baby of Jubilee, has to stay here as well. Something else that Jubilee does not want to do. But of course, that is the moment you have Apocalypse teleport the whole team into Otherworld to begin their mission. And right behind them is a dragon. And so right now, in the next issue, we're going to see our heroes fight against a dragon. But with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. And if you do, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. Later, guys.